You hear all this talk about a war? I hope it never comes here.
Well, this is fun. You and me just walking around doing stuff to each other. I mean, with each other, but not like that. Like bonding. Not that kind, though. Was there something you wanted? Time to move, I guess.
You look like you've seen your share of adventure.
You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there.
You might do well to learn a smaller weapon. Vary your style a bit.
Men are all alike, from Skyrim to Hammerfell. They care only for war and politics, and treat their women like cattle.
What's on your mind? I'm here, if you ever need me.
Don't worry. I'll play my part. I've heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are.
Vampires, robbers. Mountain burn. You can scarcely breathe in more.
Dragon! It's a dragon!
Careful! You wouldn't want to hurt my pretty face.
You'll die this day, dragon!
Do the whole of Nern a favor and just die, will you?
Eternal summer. That's your bet, huh? By her benevolence, shall not stop.
You got one. Next time, die then.
The endless sleep comes for us all.
You'll die this day, dragon!
Don't let my looks fool you. Looks can be deceiving. Maybe that means you actually have a brain.
Slay it! Slay the dragon!
By her benevolence, shall not
Oh, just die already!
would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
The last man who said women belong in the kitchen and should go back to their knitting soon had his words when I punched him into oblivion. I think he must have been eating soup for quite a while after that, and I bet it wasn't a woman serving it.
I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
One man's trash is another's treasure.
A man who feels no fear has no heart. I know fear,
Don't worry.
but it
I'll
does
play my
not
part.
control me. I keep hearing stories about Morrowind. Sounds like a wretched place.
There were several Khajiit camped outside the walls of Whiterun. Seems they've been traveling around the whole of Skyrim peddling their wares. This
You
is
might do
life.
well to
The
learn a
struggle
smaller
is what
weapon.
reminds us to
Vary
draw
your
breath.
style a bit.
So you see yourself as a bit of a blacksmith, huh? I bet you love to get real dirty. Well, you better wash off all the dirt and soot before you come anywhere near me.
Dum dee dee dum dee 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 dum 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 dee 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 dum. Ever onward.
Are you joking? Go earn a living and stop loafing.
Watch yourself out there, or they'll take everything away from you.
I've heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
When the Red Mountain burned, you could scarcely breathe in Morrowind. It was a bit difficult to come to the ways of Mara at first, but my fellow priests were kind and quite patient with me.
It's no easy thing to make a living in the wilds of Skyrim. I'm glad we're friends.
You owe me a serious foot rub for all the walking you've made me do. What do you mean it's my fault? Yes, okay, I may have agreed to it, but... whatever, you still owe me a foot rub?
Ugh. I'll need to bathe thoroughly to get this stench off me.
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived. I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
You might do well to learn a smaller weapon. Vary your style a bit.
Freya Greymane is convinced that the Battleborns have abducted one of her sons.
It's not easy being a woman in Skyrim, I know. But stay strong, and men will come to respect you, and maybe even fear you. It's been a while now. I miss him, but it's clear he's not coming back. He knew what he was getting into. I don't blame anyone. You wouldn't know it now, but the Greymanes and Battleborns were once fast friends. I miss the days when the Greymanes and Battleborns got along. Ever since the war started, we've been at each other's throats. And why shouldn't I? Just because I'm a Greymane doesn't mean I can't earn my own keep. It's difficult sometimes. It's not easy being a woman in Skyrim. Yeah, take care.
Ever onward. Ugh. I'll need to bathe thoroughly to get this stench off me.
Mara protect you. Mara forgive you, my child. Mara bless you, now and forever. Let me know if you need anything.
Yorland works the Skyforge. How is any smith going to compete with... Oh!
Ah, Isolde, was it? What brings you to the market?
I'm here to buy food, Nazim. I suppose you don't need to worry about that.
Owning a farm does have its advantages.
Hello again. We Nords are strong, and we're as tough as stone. There's some of us with a good head for business, too. But I'll bet you didn't know that. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Life's hard enough with all these men propositioning me. But that bard is the worst. Remember, fresh fruit and vegetables every day. Mostly.
I'm just out and about. The bannered mare can do without me for a bit, I suspect. Been hearing some strange tales of the Jarl's children. Say the one's turning wicked, and the others have an ill-favored look to them. Best to keep clear. I enjoy this work well enough, but I'm ready to retire. I've been thinking of selling the inn to Isolda. Anyway, what do you need?
All right, then.
Can you close up the stand early today, Mama?
I'm afraid not, little fairy. The fruit has about another day left before it spoils. We've got to sell as much as we can, as soon as we can.
That's what you always say.
Because it's always true.
Can we at least go to the tavern for supper?
Thorald's disappearance has left our family in
He's going
shambles.
to feed you cabbages and apples again. Yes, little fairy.
It's hardly a secret that they have ties to the Empire and hate anyone who speaks out against it. Thorald did worse. He took action against the Empire, and the Battleborns knew it.
Those green apples you sold me the other day were delicious.
Take a look.
Aren't they? I always set some aside for myself when the traders bring them up from the south.
You take care of yourself now.
I'm sure you could charge double for those and still sell them all within a week.
You're right. I'll have... Remember that the next time I get a shipment in.
Bits and baubles for sale. Oh. Crafted by the best blacksmith in Skyrim. Hello, Thalia, dear. Lilith, always a pleasure. Just browsing, or were you looking for something particular?
I wonder why the Dunmer are called Dark Elves. It makes them sound really evil.
Brigands I can handle, but this talk of dragons? The world has gone mad, I say. Bunch of foreign troublemakers, wandering around, getting into mischief, scaring the citizens. They've been told to stay out of the city, but keep trying to get back in. All right then.
Watch yourself out there, or they'll take everything away from you.
Barbara, did you slip out again last night for a drink at the Bannered Mare?
Heard about that, did you? Yes, I went out for a pint or two. What of it?
These secret visits to the tavern will make you an easy target for an enemy assassin.
When the Red Mountain burned, you could
I am your
scarcely
sword
breathe.
and your shield.
Away from west.
You can't protect me from long.
That might be so, but it will never stop me from trying.
Freya Greymane is convinced that the Battleborns have abducted one of her sons.
Meat, wine, and grain are all but depleted.
Purchase more supplies then. That's your job as steward, isn't it? Why do you trouble me with these details?
You want something from me?
My lord, since
Take a look.
Stormcloak's uprising, the cost of goods has doubled. I'll need more coin if I'm to provision us properly.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly empty. I can scarcely afford to pay the guards. We need every one of them in these public matters. You'll have to make do with what we have.
Yes, my lord.
One man's trash
I
is
keep
another's
hearing
treasure.
stories about Morrowind. Sounds like a wretched place.
So, have you ever read The Lusty Argonian Maid? It sounds like my kind of book. What? Just because I'm female doesn't mean I can't enjoy a nice classy piece of literature? I've heard it's quite intellectually stimulating. Actually, I just heard it was stimulating. Although I don't think it was the intellectual kind.
Come to Dragon's Reach to discuss the ongoing hostilities, like the rest of the great warriors? So, you wish to master the arcane
I'll play
arts?
my part.
Remember, your mind is the best weapon you have.
All right. All right.
Valgruth, my Jarl. A word, if I may.
What is it?
One of the servants had a wonderful idea. Fireproofing Dragon's Reach. In case of attack by, air.
Steward, your job is to offer me counsel. This is not counsel.
Of course, sir.
Ever onward.
Have you reconsidered my idea? I haven't changed my mind if that's what you're asking. I won't leave Whiterun defenseless, even for a day.
If we send half our guards to aid the legions, just for a few days...
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived.
Protect the city.
I
The
serve
Emperor will be in our debt.
as steward. Have you lost all sense? We are short on guards as it is. If we lose half our men, the Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild will have the run of the city. The Stormcloaks will be the least of our worries. The answer is no, I tell you. Now stop pestering me with your warmongering. Well, look who it is. How have you been?
I'm so angry I can hardly stand.
Yes, my youngest son. He's a dark child. I don't know what to do with him. He was always a quiet lad, but lately, something has changed. He's become brooding, violent. He won't say a word to me, but I don't know how I upset him. If you could speak to him, draw out the truth, I would be immensely grateful.
Oh, I find most of the children in Skyrim to be evil little creatures. And I don't suppose being spoiled little brats because their father happens to be the Jarl helps. Anyway, let's check it out. It sounds interesting at the very least.
There were several Khajiit camped outside the walls of Whiterun. Seems they've been traveling around the whole of Skyrim peddling their wares. I've heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
Have you seen that shrine of Azura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see.
I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
Ever onward.
Finding Mara was the greatest moment of my life. I'll never forget the warmth that spread through my heart when we embraced.
Have you ever thought that our lives are just one big game? Like, someone is sitting there playing with us, like some adult plaything? And no, I don't mean that kind of adult. It makes you think, though.
This land's tough and unforgiving, but beautiful, too. You hear all this talk about a war? I hope it never comes here. There were several Khajiit camped outside the walls of Whiterun. Seems they've been traveling around the whole of Skyrim peddling their wares.
Watch yourself out there, or they'll take everything away from you.
Men are all alike, from Skyrim to Hammerfell. They care only for war and politics, and treat their women like cattle.
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived.
I keep hearing stories about Morrowind. Sounds like a wretched place. When the Red Mountain burned, you could scarcely breathe in Morrowind. So
We've been awaiting your return. Come, follow me.
I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
Brothers and sisters of the Circle, today we welcome a new soul to our mortal fold. This woman has endured, has challenged, and has shown her valor. Who will speak for her?
I stand witness to the courage of the soul before us.
Would you raise your shield in her defense?
I would stand at her back, that the world might never overtake us.
And would you raise your sword in her honor?
It stands ready to meet the blood of her foes.
And would you raise a mug in her name?
I would lead the song of triumph as our mead hall reveled in her stories.
Then the judgment of this circle is complete. Her heart beats with fury and courage that have united the companions since the days of the distant green summers. Let it beat with ours, that the mountains may echo and our enemies may tremble at the call.
It
shall be so.
Well, girl, you're one of us now. I trust you won't disappoint. Don't worry about such things. Just focus on your own honor. Bring glory to the companions, and that glory will return upon you.
One day when you and I are on the circle,
You reach beyond your station, young one. The judgment of this circle is complete. It's best not to mistake foolhardiness for bravery.
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived. Watch it.
I see you've been allowed to know some secrets before your appointed time. No matter. Yes, it's true. Not every companion, though. Only members of the Circle all share the blood of the beast. Some take to it more than others. Well, I grow old. My mind turns towards the horizon, to Sovngarde. I worry that Shor won't call an animal to glory as he would a true Nord warrior. Living as beasts draws our souls closer to the Daedric Lord Hircine.
Ever onward.
Some may prefer an eternity in his hunting grounds, but I crave the fellowship of Sovngarde. Yes, but it's no easy matter. But you don't need to share the worries of an old warrior. This day is to rejoice in your bravery, and speak to Yorland if you want a better weapon than whatever that is.
Permitted to socialize.
This land's tough and unforgiving, but beautiful too. I've heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
You still need to prove yourself, whelp. Hoffingar seems to have trouble keeping their prisoners in line. One of them's escaped, and you're going to find that coward. At this point, they don't care what happens to her, and neither do I. Best to just kill her and be done with it.
Young warriors are smart.
Be careful. This woman is known to be dangerous. All right then.
You hear all this talk about a war? I hope it never comes here.
They say Thalion of Morthal has studied vampires, Draugr, and all matter of undead. Watch yourself out there, or they'll take everything away from you.
Don't think I don't see you eyeing me up and down. I'm not just eye candy, you know. I do have other uses. And if you're thinking what I think you are thinking, then think again. I do like to be admired, though, I must admit.
Dum dee dee dum dee 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 dum 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 dee 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 dum.
I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
There were several Khajiit camped outside the walls of Whiterun. Seems they've been traveling around the whole of Skyrim peddling their wares.
When the Red Mountain burned, you could scarcely breathe in Morrowind. So we came
Ever
west.
onward.
Come to me with questions. I know our history almost as well as Vignar by now. Except I can remember it. Aren't you already running a job for Skjor? Come talk to me when you finish that up.
I keep hearing stories about Morrowind. Sounds like a wretched place.
I've heard you may actually be stronger than you look. Perhaps we can hunt together someday. Don't let them intimidate you, sister. We both know how to keep our heads, while the men let their hearts rule. It's good to have another quick-eyed shield sister in the hall. Come to me with any troubles. All right, then. Blood running hot?
Ugh. I'll need to bathe thoroughly to get this stench off me.
Do you think I could be a member of the Circle someday, if I work hard?
Don't worry about such things. Just focus on your own honor. Bring glory to the companions, and that glory will return upon you.
I just want to make sure I'm moving up.
This is not the military, son. There are no ranks.
But aren't the Circle in charge, and don't you lead them?
I guide the companions. The Circle advises me. But we are all free warriors.
You know, sometimes
Only
I
our
like to
honor
roleplay.
binds us together.
No, not like that. I mean like pretending I'm a mud crab that goes around pinching people on the bottom. It's rather fun. You should try it. Role-playing, I mean. Although pinching bottoms is quite fun too.
I've been in Skyrim my whole life. Why would I want to leave?
Men are all alike, from Skyrim to Hammerfell. They care only for war and politics, and treat their women like cattle.
Spare coin for a poor old beggar.
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived.
Welcome to Bellathor's General Goods. Welcome indeed. Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. do come back.
It's like...
It's tough and unforgiving, but beautiful too.
I keep hearing stories about Morrowind.
A few seconds for my seconds, all I ask.
I'll teach you to cross me.
My parents were funny people. I mean weird funny, not the haha kind.
Don't worry. I'll play my part. I'm glad we're friends. I have something for you. Here.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. The finest weapons and armor. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
Have you seen that shrine over here? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see.
You hear all this talk about a war? One man's trash is another's treasure.
So you're pretty good at using a weapon with both hands. Then again, I heard you only like handling big weapons.
Young warriors are smart to listen to older ones. They've lived.
Men are all alike, from Skyrim to Hammerfell. They care only for war and politics, and treat their women like cattle. Yorland works the Skyforge. How is any smith going to compete with that? Don't worry. I'll play my part. Ever onward.
Do you ever get the feeling of just losing your clothes at the most inappropriate moments? No, me neither. Okay, well, maybe sometimes.
Aurelia Greymane is convinced that the Battleborns have abducted one of her sons. You look like you've seen your share of adventure. All right. Ugh. I'll need to bathe thoroughly to get this stench off me. You hear all this talk about a war? I hope it never comes here.